I'm here to tell you that Candace Whipplesnap is a blighter, and you should not trust her under any circumstances. I used to work with her, now I work for her at an advertising agency. And I had a brilliant idea for one of our top clients, which, she being a friend of mine, should have known with those beady little brown eyes. She wasn't a true friend. But I told her my idea. I said, Candace, I have a brilliant idea. They were toy makers, you see, and they had just created this new toy. It was quite exceptional. It was supposed to work every part of a child's brain to help their development, you see. So I told her, Candace, I have the most brilliant idea. We will grow your child's brain so you don't have to. It was brilliant, simple, short, sweet, to the point. And there was a lovely little flower coming out with a brain, you know, instead of petals. Well, I told her this. I was supposed to give my presentation the next day, you see. And the next day I come in, I'm very excited, and I start and I have my sketches, and Mark looks at me, he's the owner of the company, and he says to me, Patricia, putting us on? No, Mark, I'm not putting you on. Why would I be putting you on? He said, well, Patricia, you're not putting us on. I said, no. He said, is there something you'd like to tell us, perhaps? No, not that I know of, Mark. I just wanted to give my presentation. And he said, Patricia, I think you know that Candace gave this exact same presentation just an hour earlier. What? I said, Candace gave this presentation, this exact presentation. Yes, Patricia, Mark says, and he looks very disdainful. Sort of like, oh. He says, now, Patricia, if you couldn't come up with any ideas of your own, all you had to do was say that you couldn't come up with anything for this particular... Oh, dear. So upset with that, I can't even think of the word. But, you know, he says this to me, and I say, no, Mark, I came up with this, and I told Candace about it yesterday. And he says, what? Patricia, there's a very harsh allegation. I think we just need to stop right here. And the client was looking at me, sort of pityingly. And for a minute I started to feel ashamed, as though I had really stolen the idea, and I started to question. I thought, I did tell her about my idea yesterday. Didn't I? Grow your brain, that's my idea. Grow your brains, we'll grow your child's brain so you don't have to. But I started to get so confused. I thought, Patricia wouldn't do that. If you must know, her eyes are really quite lovely. They're this sort of, well, they're sort of muddy brown. They're not very attractive, but they're very warm. And her hair is somewhat stringy, but I don't know, I just thought she didn't shower enough. I come to see perhaps now that it's a lack of respect towards cleanliness, which translates into a lack of respect for other individuals as well. I mean, If she respected me, she certainly wouldn't have taken my idea. Pox on her, I say. Pox. And now every time I see Mark, he really looks at me sort of disappointed like. He says, "You're lucky. We almost lost that client with your debacle, but thanks to Candace and her brilliant idea, we kept it. Now she's been promoted. I work for her. Sometimes I spit in her coffee. She makes me bring it. Just a bit of spit. Makes me feel better. If she can steal my idea, I can spit in her coffee. And I think about when she first got to this firm. She's from America. Didn't even try to drink tea with the rest of us. And when she first got here, I did nothing but put myself out to make her welcome and a part of everything. And now she's stolen the campaign. She's the lead on that client now. They're one of our largest. But I think the worst is Mark. You see, well, I sort of fancied him. I think he may have fancied me as well, but ever since this whole thing, he won't even look at me the way he used to. There used to be a slight twinkle to his eyes. Now they just seem disappointed. It's tragic, really. And I told my mum about him, so now she keeps asking, "How's Mark? Have you talked to Mark lately? When are you and Mark ever going to go out?" I haven't the heart to tell her that Mark thinks that I tried to steal someone else's idea, when the reality is quite different, really. Candace. Oh, and the worst, the absolute worst, is I think that she fancies Mark. And now, well, I've seen the two of them at lunch together, chatting all friendly-like. It's ludicrous, really. Appalling. Appalling. I told her, well, when we were friends, I had told her that I quite fancied him myself. Taken everything. My promotion. Now she's taking Mark. When she's done, there'll be nothing left for me. I suppose she'll be after my flat next. Perhaps my pussy as well. There's nothing sacred. There's nothing sacred. I watched that movie 9 to 5. It's that American film, Dolly Parton, and it's quite lovely. But you know, they put rat poison. Or do they do that, or do they? I can't remember if they just think about it, or if they actually follow through. But I've pondered that myself. It's so difficult in this day and age, though. all the investigations and such. So certain Scotland Yard would be here, and but I thought maybe just a little diuretic. Just a little diuretic and a coffee. Make her think about it a bit more. But she'd never know in me. Just maybe feel her stomach was a bit off. Do you suppose you can get arrested for a bit of diuretic in one's coffee? I'll have to look into that. The legalities and such. Might be quite satisfying to see her run into the loo every 5 seconds or so. That's rather cheering, isn't it? Bit of diuretic in the coffee. Won't give me my drug back, but might give me a little chuckle now and then. Might be worth a little chuckle.